Jai Shri Krishna. So today we are going to see the nakshatra DHANISHTA. Guess what I have this mridangam with me? Because the symbol of the star DHANISHTA is itself a mridangam. So you can see here that the mridangam is an important symbol of the star DHANISHTA since it vibrates with the cosmic sound. It's called laya. So it gives certain vibrations which are very astonishing. That's why this mridangam is the symbol of the star DHANISHTA. We know that DHANISHTA nakshatra is the nakshatra which has a symbol of the mridangam, and that's why I showed you the mridangam in this video. And this particular nakshatra DHANISHTA is concerned with a rhythm, so a particular rhythm. And when singers sing in Indian music, we use the mridangam to give them rhythm. It's called laya in Indian music. So this is the mridangam which gives that particular rhythm to sing or to dance to anything. So the singer, the dancer and the mridangam player are important people when adding in other instruments along with that. So of the Layavadya, so this is called Layavadya. So that's why this nakshatra DHANISHTA is the nakshatra star of symphony. So it exactly goes together with the universal cosmic sound. The nakshatra DHANISHTA can also be equated with the tabla too. So mridangam, tabla, whatever layavadyas we have are in favor of this nakshatra. So people born under this nakshatra are inclined towards the layavadyas. So that's one point we can take. And second thing, they have a lot of coordination with the universal forces. And DHANISHTA nakshatra, the 23rd nakshatra of the lot, is a very important star when we judge the aspect of all different kinds of stars in our lives. So DHANISHTA nakshatra, being the last star of Mars, gives lots of influence of Saturn, Mars and Moon in it. So these people are very wealthy. DHANISHTA people are generally wealthy enough. They go too rich sometimes, and they are really strong in their things that they want to say to others. But they're good at arguments, but they do not like to disagree always to people and end the argument with disagreement on their side. They agree and end the argument, though having a lot of revenge on the others and coming back on the others after some time or after a few days, but they quit at the moment, but they again come back after some time. So elephant's revenge also can be given to the star DHANISHTA nakshatra. So there are many shastras which say DHANISHTA nakshatra is ruled by the Ashtavasus. Ashtavasus are the 8 attributes of Vasu. Vasu is nothing but fortune. And Vasu in the Vishnu Purana is known as Dharo Dhruvashcha Somashcha Ahashcha Anilo Nalaha Pratyushashcha Prabhasashcha Vasava Ashtau Prakirtitaha. So that's the explanation of the Vasus in the Mahabharata. Dharaha, Dhruva and Somaha and Aha, that is morning, Anila and Anala. Anila and Anala are air and fire, Pratyusha and Prabhasa and Vasava Ashtau Prakirtitaha. So we can also see, we know that a story was there in the Mahabharata when the 8 Vasus, the youngest of them, was inclined to taking away the cow of a sage, and then when he went to take the cow of the sage cursed him, saying that you along with the 8 Vasus will descend to the earth and will in fact the youngest one, it was the youngest one's mistake of doing it, especially the wife of the youngest one. So she had to be there in heaven without her husband, and her husband would have to come down for doing the evil act of taking away the cow of a sage. So then he came down in the form of Bhishma, and he was really powerful, Pratyusha. He was spiritual effulgence. So when all the 8 Vasus were pleading sage Vasishta, he said, okay, since you have not done that much mistake, though you have helped him and not coerced him for what he had done, you will descend to earth and will be killed by your mother and sent back again. Then they asked, who will be our mother? And the sage said, Ganga. Immediately Ganga appeared in that place. She took the 8 Vasus as small babies and descended to earth, delivered them. That means she went to Shantanu and she married Shantanu on a few things. So you can see the Mahabharata for that. And in that line, Bhishma was born. So when the first 7 of them were killed and Shantanu was like, why is she killing it? When the 8th one was about to be killed, he said, dare you kill it, and scolded her with words. So she said, I'm leaving you, but she gave the son, that is Bhishma, to him. And she took away the son Bhishma, taught him all the scriptures and brought him back to the king and said, now leaving from you since you called me a few coercive words. So then she left from him, and this was the story in which Bhishma was born. Then Bhishma continued to live on earth, and one particular day he passed away. So for this, Mahabharata is a wonderful treatise. We can see so much astrological information in it. We can see so much of it, like the sun, the moon, the planets, the stars, Amavasya, the Tithis, the Nakshatras. Everything is so important because Vyasa, the greatest form of the rishis in Vishnu. So actually Vishnu, one of the 24 avatars of Vishnu is also Vyasa. So what Vyasa did was he used to compile so many different kinds of stories of astrological information in the Mahabharata, which also makes Mahabharata a Panchamo Veda. So that's why I say Bharata Panchamo Veda. That means the Mahabharata is the 5th Veda, and therefore we have to be concerned with the Mahabharata as even an astrological text. So the Vedas are actually places where we find lots of information, and therefore this description of Bhishma comes into the DHANISHTA nakshatra, which is also with Mahabharata. So we can see that according to Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter, 23rd shloka, the Lord says that Agni, the Pavaka aspect of Vasu is the most pure and most best one. So even in the Mahabharata, these names have been given, but in the Vishnu Purana, different names have been given. Apa, water; Dhruva, the pole star; Soma, the moon; Dhara, earth; Anila, wind; and Pavaka, that is fire or Anila; Pratyusha, dawn; and Prabhasa, splendor. These are the 8 Vasus. So these Ashtavasus were living with their own families when one problem happened like this and everybody had to go. So that's the important story concerned with the Ashtavasus, and Ashtavasus had gained summit over the Devas. They were the highest because they controlled many different kinds of forms of this world in their power, because almost everything is formed of water, the stars, and the moon. And even now scientists are doubting whether this entire earth, most aspects of this earth were formed due to broken stars, etc. because of calcium present in the stars. Our teeth and the calcium in the apple, milk, etc. are all formed due to broken stars. So even stars have lots of influence, even in astrology. So Dhruva. Soma, the moon. Again, moon has continuous influence over humans every single second of our life. And Dhara, the earth, of course we're living on the earth itself. Anila, wind, can we live without wind? And fire was the beginning of humanity. And then we can see Pratyusha, dawn. If there is dusk, there has to be dawn. If there is dawn, there has to be dusk. So dawn is very important. That shows the beginning of life is dawn. So just before the sunset, just before the sunrise, there is a period called dawn, and that is the time when Brahma Muhurta is there. I think a little farther, previously that Brahma Muhurta comes, but still this particular time is the time when humans should breathe in, breathe out, and that's the time of pranayama, which lights in the life force. So therefore dawn is also very important. Prabhasa, splendor, all of this together gives a power of splendor. So the 8th one, Prabhasa, is the youngest one. So one more description of the Dhanishta nakshatra is the Ashtadikpalakas. So we can see that Dhanishta nakshatra people are very devoted to the Ashtadikpalakas, to the 8 Vasus, because they worship different kinds of forms of the Vasu, and finally go to the Lord himself. So what are the Ashtadikpalakas? We know it starts from east, which is east is belonging to the Ashtadikpalaka, who is known as Indra. When we go to southeast, it becomes Agni. When we go to the south, it's Yama. When we go to the southwest, it's Nirrati, the goddess of destruction, and Yama, the goddess of the god of death. And in the east, Agni. In the southeast, Agni, the god of fire. In the east, Indra, the god of all the gods. And in the west, Varuna, which is the lord of water, which presides over water and is like Yama. And again, when we come to the northwest, we take Vayu in the northwest, resides the god of air. When we see the north, we say Om Kubera Yama. So Kubera rules the north, the god of wealth. And in the northeast, all the gods that we love and we call the supreme god, especially Shiva is the supreme according to most Vedas, and even Krishna. So these two deities preside over the northeast. Even one's Ishta Devata, or Devata that we like, can be the Ashtadikpalaka for the northeast. So it's called Ishana, somehow we call it Ishana. So these Ashtadikpalakas are also deities for the Dhanishta nakshatra. So we have seen the deities and the stories related to deities of this star Dhanishta, and now let's see how Mars energy combined with these deities gives an expression to Dhanishta nakshatra, and that makes it a glittering beautiful star. So the flute is also the symbol of the Dhanishta nakshatra, because flute also gives that symphony and that beauty in the way the singers sing. So when a singer sings, immediately it's followed by a flute, which gives a special touch to the singing of the singer. So the flute is also an important thing. Mridangam, which is considered the most important instrument of Laya in Karnataka music, this is the symbol of Dhanishta nakshatra. So again, the Vasus, they are special gods which are related to wealth. And we also know that Agni, the god of fire, is also present in this. So the god of fire is the supreme among the Vasus, and that's what Krishna says, Lord Shri Krishna, the supreme Lord, says in his Bhagavad Gita, in which he has explicitly explained what he is of all the different kinds of things in this world. He says, Vasavaha Pavakaha. So that means of the Vasus, I am Pavaka, fire. Pavaka, nothing means the one which makes pure. If we eat something directly without purifying it with water or fire, fire again is more important than water, because sometimes water is also dirty, but fire can never be dirty, never ever be dirty. You do anything, fire will not be dirty. Its smoke might be dirty, but fire will not be dirty. You burn the worst of things, but the fire that comes out of it will not be dirty. I can tell you that. Only the smoke of it will be poisonous or smelling or whatever, toxic, etc. The fire is always pure. One cannot make fire impure. And also, one more thing related to fire is when we put the fire down like this, it still comes up. It will burn our hand. So that's why we say a good person cannot be turned down and kept like this. It will only burn your hand up again. So, a good person will always be good. How much ever you try to put him down, he'll never turn bad. The instinct of good, when nurtured in a child from the beginning, never turns bad. So, Pavaka, fire, water. Fire and water have a fight. Fire also purifies, water also purifies, but fire shows the supreme in the end. Though water can defeat fire by extinguishing it, that doesn't mean water is more powerful. Fire is heat. Water is only made to be heated by fire, but the Mula Rupa of water is cold. It is Jala. So Jala is having a Shita potency. So this Shita potency of Jala, we say that heat is life, cold is death. So therefore, fire is the most supreme of all the different kinds of things that we have in our earth. So, the Adityas, the Maruts, Ashwins, Indra, Rudra, Vayu, Vishnu, Shiva and Kuvera. So, of all of these things, Adityana Aham Vishnu, Jyotisham Raviram Shuman. Adityana Aham Vishnu means I am of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Jyotisham Raviram Shuman, of the bright things of the bright astrological beings, I am the sun. He says Jyotisham Raviram Shuman. Marichir Marutavasmi, I am of the Maruts, I am Marichi. Nakshatranam Aham Shashi, of the nakshatras I am Rohini or the moon. So Shashi can mean Rohini or it can also mean the moon. So of the nakshatras and the moon, or the one which belongs to the moon, that's Rohini. Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanam Asmi Vasavaha. So that shloka comes the next one. Devanam Asmi Vasavaha. Of all the gods I am Indra. And this also, so Vasus are linked to Indra is what we can again say. Vasu means also Indra. So Vasava means Indra. Vasu means the Vasus. So therefore we can see that this star Dhanishta is connected to so many different kinds of devatas which cannot even be counted. The Ashtalikpalakas, the Ashtavasus, and then also it goes forward to the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself, and again the sun god, and the Maruts, Indra, this, that, so many different devatas, and that gives a special energy of Dhanishta which does not coincide with other energies of other stars. It does not get too much into Mars energy, because Mars is that kill kind of energy. So that is reduced because of the purifying power of different kinds of deities. Those elephants' revenge is still there. These deities just will push back the anger, but the anger will again come back into the power. So again Kartikeya also comes within this. That is Mars energy. So we can see so many deities are concerned with the star Dhanishta nakshatra. Dhanishta is with the planet Mars, so that's why it's that power. So the star of the dolphin or symphony or wealth etc. is also expressed in this nakshatra. So insight, listening etc. can be seen in Dhanishta. Dhanishta has two meanings, Dhwani and Dhana. And Shravishta, which is the older name of Dhanishta, has again going back to Shravana. So we can see Shravana and Dhanishta are somewhat linked to each other. If we see Shravishta, the first name of Dhanishta, it goes back to Shravana. Shravana is a star of learning and Dhanishta is a star of practicality of the learning that you acquire. So, if Shravana people are theoretically perfect, Dhanishta people are theoretically and practically perfect. So we can see that Dhanishta people are really knowledgeable due to the power of Shravishta and due to the power of Dhanishta. So they can practically put down their skills to acquire whatever they need. So, Dhanishta people can bring the resources together because all of these resources that they have, the Ashtavasus, have to be utilized by Dhanishta people. So understand that Dhanishta has a wonderful and powerful power. So if you're Dhanishta nakshatra, utilize this power of bringing together things and use the 8 forces. What are the 8 forces? They are the Ashtavasus. So use these 8 forces and bring together spiritual power of humanity together, and you will see the universal power of the Lord inside you, a spark of it. So we can see that Dhanishta nakshatra is the star of symphony, universal sympathy, etc. things. So we can see that Dhanishta nakshatra makes all of these qualities of Shravana, pulls the qualities of Shravana into it, and including the flute. Flute is a symbol also for Shravana nakshatra. Flute makes a symbol for Shravana and even for Dhanishta nakshatra. So we know that the flute, even as I said before, the flute is an important instrument in Karnataka and even in Hindustani music, even in the entire of Indian music. So that's why the symbol of Shravana is hearing, and Shravana people hear the cosmic sounds of Krishna's flute. Same way, Dhanishta people's symbol is the flute. So we can see that the planet Mars is exalted in his own star Dhanishta here. So this is the place where the Mars energy comes out in a hard force, and especially if Mars is in this asterism, mind you, nothing can stop these people at all. They'll be rushing towards the work that they want to do. And Chandramangala Yoga here is beneficial, not malefic, as we've seen Chandramangala Yoga in my previous videos. So Dhanishta Nakshatra is a place for extreme exaltation of the Mars. So deepest exaltation of Mars comes within this place. Capricorn is the place of exaltation for Mars, the spiritual warrior. Mars, concerned with other planets, can become a spiritual or a material warrior. It again depends on the person's mental influence or the planetary influences. So that's why these Ashtavasus are very important deities in a person, Dhanishta Nakshatra person's life. And a tabla, flute or a musical drum, that is this drum, are important symbols in Dhanishta Nakshatra. So, Khyapa Shakti, the power to give abundance and fame, is present in this nakshatra. Khyapa Khyapa means Kya. Kya means one who is known, one who is proclaimed. Khyapayati means one who is proclaiming something. So one who is famous, etc. meanings. One who gives abundance. Khyapayate Shakti. This star gives abundance. These people from the beginning have lots of abundance in their lives. But that doesn't mean that these people always will have Samagita Dhana Yoga and they'll always be happy. There are again contradictory statements to this, which is there might be a few Daridra Yogas, etc., which will make the person poor. We can't always say they'll be always rich. It's always making a difference. So, then we can see that the most famous, the most heard of, the wealthiest Dhanishta is following the beat, the drummer. So Dhanishta is about following the beat. So the musical people in the Karnataka music, they use a beat. So they go on with a particular beat, and the mridangam plays according to that beat. For one shot of the hand, which is called tada, one tadana, they play 4, 8, 16 and 32 and so many symbols. They can even play, some players can even play 100 to 200 syllables for this one beat in the mridangam. So that's the power of the star Dhanishta. So next, Vasava, Shravishta, etc. So Vasava is the chief of the Vasus, that's Indra. So the Vasus chief is known as Vasava, and he is the lord of the Vasus too. And because Indra is connected with the Vasus have gained summit among the Devas. So Vasus are the Devas of all the Ashtadikpalakas. So they have energies of all the Dikpalakas, and therefore they have considerable amount of control over this world. And now we can see that the nakshatra Dhanishta or Bhuti Nidhana, Shravishta, Dhanishta, and even Vasava, even Shravishta. These names are the names of Dhanishta nakshatra. Bhuti Nidhana. So prosperity is the main concept of these people. So Rakshasa and Dharma come in here. So Rakshasa does not mean they're evil. Rakshasa only means that they are strong. So the Deva is a little calm, and they have a kind of a jnana and a peaceful way of solving issues. Manushya people can use both ways. They are confused, and they don't have that much power over any person that significantly. Rakshasa people use their powerful tendency, so that's a rash tendency to bring together things happening. So Rakshasa and Dharma means that their view of Dharma, what they think is Dharma, is exactly correct according to the scriptures, and therefore they will push on to what they want into the main thing. We can see that people connected to each of the nakshatras behave according to that nakshatra. Hitler, of course, had Purvashada nakshatra, and we know that Purvashada nakshatra is concerned with the Devata Varuna, and that's why since it was connected with many malefics, the moon, that's why he used to do stupid works underwater. So So he had bombarded many kinds of ships and killed many people with submarines. So we can connect such things into that. Varuna is the lord for Purvashada, and we don't know what particular thing he had to kill so many people, or is it really true that he has killed so many people, but he was connected with such murderous things of through water. He used to fight mostly through water. So Purvashada, etc. Each star has lots of influence over people. Princess Diana was born under the star Dhanishta, and therefore they are very rich, charitable, and they are true for truth. And that's why there are many kinds of things. There are people against the people born in Dhanishta nakshatra. For example, Princess Diana. So Capricorn and Aquarius both are Shani Rashis. That's where Dhanishta nakshatra resides, and these people are, that's why, very, very sharp-minded and to the point. That's through Shani. They have a routine life, and they are forced to be in a routine life which they kind of like, but it's difficult to come into that particular kind of a life for them. But they are subjected to live in a disciplinary life, and but a very luxurious life too. Having a disciplinary and a luxurious life is the best thing any person can get. So that's about Dhanishta nakshatra, a luxurious life. So luxury only comes after discipline and a work. So that's why Dhanishta nakshatra is the work of lots of contemplation. So there are a few things we can see about Dhanishta nakshatra. If you are born in Dhanishta nakshatra, you will be an expert in all the work you will undertake. You will have an extremely intelligent mind and all-round knowledge. You do not like to cause any trouble to others. It has been seen that you have a religious spirit, Rakshasa Dharma. You always like to live by your own caliber and effort. Shani, Mars. You dislike to express disagreement with others until the last moment. Dharma. And Moon and Mars and Shani conjunction, though they have an elephant's revenge kind, which can be given later. The elephant's revenge, most of us are probably aware of the elephant's revenge, of course. The elephant's revenge is, there was a story in which somebody pricked in the nose of an elephant just for a joke, and then the elephant brought lots of water, dirty water, and poured it on his face. That is right for him, but that's called the elephant's revenge. So they have they wait for an opportunity until they can pounce, and that opportunity, timing, etc. is very powerful in their minds. They can time the opportunity to the seconds, like this is the second I'm going to just finish this fellow. So they are very powerful in that sense. Because of Mars energy, they can be successful in pouncing on others and finishing them. Female lioness, animal symbol. So in the same way, you wait for an opportunity to pounce on others with whom you have a score to settle. Most scientists and historians are born in Dhanishta. Guess why? Shani. Since there is an inherent talent of keeping secrets, Mars and Shani, again Shani, most influence. So private secretaries to senior executives or lawyers is an important profession for these people. Whatever you may be, your academic background, whatever the academic background is for these people, you might be an MBA or an MA, or you might have not even got first standard. The intelligence is beyond question. In argument, you are much ahead of others. Lawyer's profession is excellent for you. So from the 24th year onward, people will show progress in earning field. This cannot be that much justified as a correct statement from the 24th year, but it might be based on dashas, because the Rahu dasha might most possibly ends at that particular time. That's again based on when the nakshatra, in which pada and which degree of the nakshatra you are born in. But again, in this we can't judge exactly 24th year. Since you will be engaged in a profession or trade where you have to trust others, you should be very careful before putting trust in others, because this particular profession of lawyers, profession of secret societies, etc. is based on trust. And in family circle, you'll be the uppermost administrator, Mars energy. Your relatives will cause a lot of embarrassment and problems. That is, it's due to the Dhanishta influence. You're more inclined to brothers and sisters. Mars influence. Mars is Sahaja Karaka. So you cannot have much benefit from in-laws, but because of marriage this kind of thing gets. Sorry, the camera got off, so I'll come back to the same point. So Dhanishta nakshatra is a particular star of the star which indicates a little delay in marriage. So that's the only problem with this star, because Mars and Shani both give an important influence over these people's lives. Mars indicates they have one of these two things in their married life. One is Mars indicates lots of troubles within married life, or Shani indicates delay in married life. One of these two, or delayed marriage. So one of these two things is sure to happen to these people due to Mars Shani problems. If not delayed marriage, there will be problems in marriage. If not problems in marriage, there will be delayed marriage. Both are problems, though delayed marriage is a better place for these people to go towards. So Dhanishta nakshatra has this one uncommon characteristic of troubles in marriage or delay in marriage. That's because of Kuja dosha and Shani's problems, that is of delayed marriage, etc. Kuja dosha gives this competitive thing in the person's mind. Shani gives that delayed perspective of the person's life. So 23 degrees 20 minutes Capricorn to 6 degrees 40 minutes Aquarius is the range of this nakshatra. Symbol is a musical drum. Well, this is my musical drum, and that's a symbol of Dhanishta nakshatra. And Mars is a ruling planet. The nature is Rakshasa. Dharma is the primary motivation or artha of the person. Or they are, we say they are Chatur Purushartha, or the four things of humans, what humans like or like to do. So that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Once a person does his dharma, he gets the so it comes like this. Once you do your work, that is dharma, you get your payment for it or your result for it, that's artha. Then you think about how to use this result in different ways, that is kama. Again, from kama, you take all of these things that you get from kama, you're satisfied with all the things that you have used, your results, and then you go to moksha. That's how the ancient sages have given their entire life in just 4 purusharthas. Dhanishta has Rakshasa and Dharma. And again, a person has to see how you will use each one of these things. That is again depending on Deva, Manushya and Rakshasa. Deva is very calm and beautiful way. Manushya is very they are confused kind of way of using different kinds of mixed ways depending on the situation or irrelevant to the situation, anything depending on this chart. Or again Rakshasa is that forcible way. Again everything is depending on the chart and your previous karmas which are reflected in the chart. The female lion is the animal symbol, the direction is east, and the sounds are ga, gi, gu and ge. So that's again for Prashna. Sattva, tamas and tamas are the qualities. So why one sattva? This one sattva is for the vasus and all the good aspects of this nakshatra. The 2 tamas are for the 2 ones, that is Saturn and Mars. So they are 2 tamas planets. So that's for them. So the deities are the Ashtavasus. So we know that Dhanishta on the ascendant, that was for Abraham Lincoln had that. They are really regal and very regal and heroic nature, humanitarian people. That not everything will be according to the person, because there are many different kinds of chart conjunctions that we have to first see before terming anything. Idealistic, charitable and virtuous. Ambitious, optimistic, wealthy, philosophical, rash, arrogant, inquisitive mind, liberal in thought. Moon in Dhanishta, wealthy, liberal in gift giving, charitable, daring and rash in action, controversial, fond of music and poetry, mystical, difficult to convince of anything, troubles or delay in marriage. Several people that these people have to combat with in life, obstinate nature. Sun in Dhanishta, courageous, strong, issues with anger, curious mind, research oriented. Sun and Saturn relation will always make a person fight a lot. So Sun in Dhanishta is not such a preferable thing, though the other qualities of this nakshatra makes a person really good when the sun is in Dhanishta. So, philosophical nature, social interests, wealthy, successful, cynical, and stressful life, irrational at sometimes. Dhanishta career interests are musicians, poets, doctors, surgeons, real estate, property management, engineering, mining, scientists, research work, charitable organizations. And the health issues that these people get is arthritis, back problems, knees and ankles, hypertension, heart trouble, and piles, hemorrhoids. So these are the things they get as health issues if this is vulnerably a problem, this nakshatra, or the part considered with this nakshatra. So now we shall see Brihat Jataka's opinion on this star. So Brihat Jataka's opinion on this nakshatra is, so there is a chapter called Rikshashila Adhyaya in the Brihat Jataka, that is the 16th chapter of the Brihat Jataka. So you can see here, this is the Rikshashila Adhyaya. And now in this Adhyaya we can see Dhanishta Nakshatra says Dātātyādhya Shūro Gati Priyo Dhanishta Sudhanarabdha. Liberal, rich, courageous, fond of music and money are the qualities of a person born in Dhanishta. I don't want the camera to get off again. So let me just see this. Okay. So Dhanishta Sudhanarabdha, that is because why this is like that is the meaning of Dhanishta, as we saw in the beginning, is Dhana and Dhvani. Dhvani is music and poetry. So they like Dhvani, things that is music and poetry, and Dhana, that is money. So money and music and poetry are very fascinating to these people, whether of others or their own. But they like to be on their own, so they are not thieves of people's money or people's things, etc. So we have considered a lot of things in the star Dhanishta Nakshatra, and therefore we have finished this asterism in my small way of saying it. But if you have any suggestions to give me on any things that I might have made a mistake, please comment. So thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.